Okay, you want to see what my garden looks like? I'm going to take you on a tour around, and it's going to be rather a long tour because it's spread out. So, here are some succulents that I started in little pots. I got mint right here. The cat and the dog like to drink out of it. And then some hardy orchids. And then I did some geraniums. As you see, I put it in a tomato ketchup pot. And behind me are nasturtiums. They're flowers, they're edible. They are a little peppery. Got tons of them. More geraniums, hanging baskets, roses, lilies, and we get into the main part of the garden. This little pot is uh, cinnamon Thai basil. They're little babies coming up from seed from last year's plant. I have cucumbers growing in this pot, and this is a jujube tree that I just got for my birthday. It's just starting to leaf out, as you can see. I have sage. I have thyme and a papaya that's barely holding on. I have bok choy coming up. Over here is red or purple potatoes. They're just starting. They're at the very bottom of the pot. And as they start growing, they get about 4 more inches high. I'll put more dirt in until they reach the top of the pot. You can see, I think it's a 20-inch pot. Over here is more thyme. This is variegated thyme. In my mango tree, it died, so I gotta put in for get another one. This is lemon thyme and another papaya. This is a hardy papaya that will supposedly not die over winter. I got more cucumbers, and this is my pulak tree. It has 4 different types of pulaks, but unfortunately one of the branches didn't produce. As you can see, I got tons and tons of pulaks coming out of this baby everywhere. I'm excited to try them. Over behind me is my outside potting bench. I've got lemongrass starting right there, a big giant variety. Flowers for the front bed, tomatoes, that's an heirloom variety, black ones. These are a new type of tomato called Barry's Crazy Tomatoes. Looked it up, they're really crazy. Cosmos, giant sunflowers. And this one is Chocolate Morning Glories, Harlequin Morning Glories. These are pea plants, but it's not the kind you eat. They're a variety that grows like a morning glory. It has blue flowers and you make tea out of them. That's a butternut squash. Mint. And then this is my tomato bed. This is one of the crazy berries. And then all these others are brandywines, 3 different types. Behind it, growing on a trellis, are peas that are coming up. I don't know if you can see those very good. In front of tomatoes, I have a big line of beets that'll be ready this summer to go all the way down. Next flower bed are potatoes. The 3 at the end are gigantic russets. And these right here happen to be red ones that grew in the compost, so I just pulled them and redug them in. That's a Japanese cucumber on this trellis I made. In between are butternut squashes, and at the very end is a Armenian cucumber. On the other side is garlic, just normal regular garlic. Then at this end is okra, growing. I didn't plant anything in between it this year, I should have. These are more red potatoes that I tried in that bucket. Again, it's a 20-some inch bucket tall, and I started them at the bottom, but this one, the dirt's all the way to the top. And this is water chestnuts. And back over here again is regular basil, sweet basil. And this is called a culipino. It's a jalapeno, but it has no heat. And it survived over the winter and is starting to send out new growth, so it made it. Ooh, even a flower starting. This is a curly leafed willow, very fast growing. My dad's funeral, he passed away on April 12th last year, so it's almost the 1-year anniversary. And this was in one of his flower arrangements at the funeral, and I put it in water and it grew. There was 2 of them, and my niece took one of them, and I got a bunch of starts off of this one yesterday that I'm restarting for new plants. This is established lemon grass that I grew, rosemary, oregano growing with it, and then back to this bed, my sweet cherry 100 tomatoes. Then these first 3 are purple potatoes, but they weren't coming up, so I planted the ones in the bucket, and then these popped up. And then these are red potatoes, big bunch of red potatoes, and I dug them down about 10 inches deep, all these potatoes, and as they grew I filled it in. So potatoes grow off the stem, so the deeper you plant them, the more potatoes you get. So I should have 100 pounds or more. Then this bed, coming over here, I got Zabrina. It's like a short hollyhock with purple and lavender flowers. It pops up every year, so I just moved it out of the flower bed into a pot. Eggplant. I have 3 rows of green beans, only some came up. Snell's got a bunch, so I replanted yesterday in between. So they'll be coming up soon. I got a bird feeder I built, stuck in here. I nuked the seeds before I put them out. So they do not grow if they hit the ground. That's very important if you ever try it. At the end of that, I have my strawberry buckets. And as you see, I do have strawberries coming on. I'm ready. In between, right around in there, and here I have more Cosmos seeds that I planted. And I have a horseradish growing right here next to my bird bath. And this is my compost pile. These are the lilac bushes. And a snowball bush underneath it. And I just started to move my compost for the summer over to here. And then, as we progress along, I walk over the flower bed. We got wild onions, plants that haven't popped up yet, calla lilies, fuchsias, hydrangeas, bird baths, or bird feeder, more things. I made my mom this sign about 12 years ago. And then various other things, more stuff I started. These are raspberries from a raspberry bush I started. Hydrangeas, lemon balm, makes excellent tea. This is a bay leaf, so we have fresh bay leaf whenever we want it. This is another lilac bush I bought my mom called Josie. Continue on around. This was my horseradish pot, but I broke it getting them out, so my mom transformed it into a toad garden. And then this is all the succulents. Got petunias and grass growing out of the fire pit since we're not using it this time. Come back over here, and I have my raspberry bush. It only gets about 18 inches, 2 feet high, and produces lots of raspberries. This is one of my blueberry bushes. They're loaded. And then more succulents, margarita, and then my other blueberry bush, bulbs, and this is called, I forgot its name, but it's the largest blueberry in the world. So it wasn't supposed to do here, but it is flat out producing. And here's another one, same variety, the world's largest. Got tons of flowers. That's a 4-year-old blueberry bush. These are 1-year-old. This one's loaded as well. Tons of them. I'm gonna just put this trellis in with blue morning glories. Okay, that concludes the backyard. We got tons. Oh, my other potting bench. Let me get over here. Succulents. There's about 20 raspberry plants in water, getting the roots a little bit bigger before I plant them. Baby celeries that were growing off of the big ones that I pulled. And here's those other willows that are growing. Okay, to the front yard garden. Told you this was gonna be a long video. I got lots of stuff. Unlock the gate. Step out. I just planted 2 rhubarbs, one here, one there, and I just planted a pear tree. This is my Meyer lemon. It's just starting to put out flowers. I pruned it hard this winter, so we're not going to have as many lemons this year as we did last. We had probably 200 lemons off this tree. And then come over here, I've got parsley. I have a elephant garlic that grew from seed, I guess. I had it planted like 2 years ago. There's 2 of them that grew, so I'm just letting them grow. This is my celery. It's ready to be picked. I just got a food dehydrator yesterday, so I'm gonna dry some of it because my freezer and stuff is extremely full now. And then I got my zucchinis planted, and these are coming out after the rain quits, and I'll make room for other squash. Then I'm going to plant the other tomatoes back there that you saw that were on my potting ditch. These are Swiss chard, and behind me is the other bed, chives. This is my winter greens bed. Now I'm converting it over to my pepper bed. I've got bell peppers, pimento peppers, serranos, Anaheims, and jalapenos in here. And I had 3 little onions that popped up from a previous crop, so I just stuck them in there. These are my second row of carrots that I planted that I will harvest when I eat my first batch that I harvested. And there's what's left of my lettuce. And that concludes the garden.